If you missed our last couple of videos, we've been exploring all that Florence, Alabama has to offer on a trip sponsored by the Shoals. On our second day, we woke up in our beautiful room at the Stricklin Hotel, packed our bags, and headed downstairs for breakfast. Not your average run-of-the-mill continental breakfast. The Stricklin is one part of a multi-business 23,373 square foot building. The basement houses the boiler room, an awesome bowling alley, restaurant, and event venue. The top floors are for the Stricklin Hotel and their two event spaces, the Belk Hudson and the Stricklin Social. And on the main floor with the Stricklin lobby is where we had our first Florence breakfast. I will go to the grave saying that I am not a breakfast person. I think eggs are too eggy, French toast is too soggy, and breakfast is just too breakfasty. Yes, I know I'm a poetic genius, but despite my feelings on the unofficial most important meal of the day, we'd been told that Big Bad Breakfast was the best of the best. And you know we can't turn down a good food recommendation. So in order to keep ourselves, mostly me, from ordering something boring like a plate of potatoes, we had our waitress pick our meal for us, and she chose two of my least favorite things. French toast and grits. But let's just skip right to the good part. It was delicious. The French toast is a brandy spiked French bread, deep fried and topped with strawberries and whipped cream. I know I said that French toast is soggy, and it usually is, but I couldn't stop eating this. It had that bruleed sugar crunch on the outside and a balanced sweetness that reminded my palate that I wasn't eating dessert, but a very delicious breakfast. Then for the grits dish. Probably the one I dreaded the absolute most. I know I'm a disgrace to all Southerners, but I really hate grits. They're like ground up sandpaper mixed with oatmeal. But with the French toast so successful, I figured I'd probably be okay. So we ordered the Huevos Rancheros Grit Bowl. It has the original Grit Girl cheese grits, chicken sausage, black beans, crispy tortillas, cilantro, pico de gallo, 2 poached eggs, avocado, and lime. There are no adequate words. It didn't taste like breakfast, but it didn't taste like lunch. It was just a magical meal in its own category entirely. So is Big Bad Breakfast worth a taste while in Florence? You bet your grits it is. Thank you so much to Big Bad Breakfast for sponsoring this meal. It was a great start to a busy day exploring the Shoals. We had a few hours to kill before our first official stop of the day, so we took a scenic drive around Florence and found the perfect spot for some photos.
You should be able to see really good there. Yeah, we're at the top of the world now.
Buddy.
Hey everybody, it's Joanie B. And Jenni B. And are we on top of the world? We're on top of the world! No, we're on top of Florence! It's right there! Look at that, everybody. Isn't that beautiful? The beautiful Tennessee River down there. People crossing the river. We have some kind of boating expedition going on over there with these fast bass boats that keep going by. So we learned that this is a big place for bass fishermen. So all right guys, we just wanted to share a little bit of this beauty with you today on this beautiful sunny day. Yeah! And make sure you check out the drone footage. Boom boom! He's eating something.
Mr. Spider, hello, hello.
Watch out!
Then it was time to drive on down to the Rosenbaum House. This is a home that was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect, and was a wedding gift to Stanley and Mildred Rosenbaum from Stanley's parents. It looks like your average mid-century modern home, neither here nor there on the special spectrum. But the interesting part isn't necessarily in the visuals, but in the story behind them. The foundation of the home hugs the curves of the land, and that was all by design. It's a Usonian-style home. More specifically, it was meant to complement the area in which it was built. It's considered organic architecture. You were meant to still feel a part of the world outside, even when you were inside. This meant large windows, and lots of them. Natural wood furnishings throughout, a neutral palette. It's the only Wright building in the state of Alabama, and one of only 26 pre-World War II Usonian homes. But the part that really makes it special,
Stanley and Mildred had 3 young boys and 1 on the way, and so they wrote to Frank Lloyd Wright and they asked for an addition. Wright always intended for Usonian houses to have an addition, but this is the only one that ever made it that far. This is the only Usonian that has a Wright designed addition.
So, we just got out of the Rosenbaum house.
Yes.
I have to eat my words because I thought it was gonna be the most snooze fest thing that I'd ever seen. I was like, whoop-de-doo, we're going to somebody's house. Woo, buddy.
That he builds it with the land. So like where we build the foundation, everything's flat, he builds it with it. So in the house, it might have a little lumps and bumps. My favorite thing was all of the windows.
There were so many windows.
So on the south side of the house, it was like nothing but windows. They opened up on a hinge, but I know you could get accordion ones. You could, if you had a house like this.
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool. And so there was a screen on there, so you could have the windows open. And he did that for lighting, because now with it being on this side, there's always light coming into the house.
So they have very few actual like light fixtures.
The doorways,
They were narrow, pal.
don't be having no big butt. Because if you have a big butt, you go in sideways.
Slip in sideways a bit. It was very interesting. And the whole outside in and inside out situation, they used cypress wood and Alabama red clay to make the bricks and everything.
Again, to keep it local. And I asked about the closets because we weren't allowed to look in the closets.
Don't touch anything.
And everything is 2 feet sections.
There would have been 2 beds right there in the original structure.
But the closets are 2 feet deep. So
Which is
nice.
pretty good.
And I mean, so they had lots of that, lots of little.
And when you look at
storage.
it, it looks like there's nothing there because it's all like wall built-in thing. So it's kind of cool.
And then the kitchen looked like my mom and dad's kitchen. So hey, maybe Mama and Granddad had a
I'm gonna say
Frank Lloyd Wright kitchen.
I am not a sexist individual, but this is gonna sound sexist. You could tell a man was the one that built that because there was a sign by that described things, and for the kitchen, which you'll see was basically a cubby, it said that Frank Lloyd Wright had designed that as a very functional space. It was very functional. It was not very functional if you're actually gonna cook in the kitchen, Frank.
So they turned it into like a pantry, little butler's pantry. And when they purchased the plans, which had a bigger kitchen, and it was kind of funky too, but
It was at least bigger.
it was bigger
Than the other one.
and lots of counter space. There was a wasp in one of those rooms, and I didn't go into it, but
I did.
because the last time there was a wasp, it was a yellow jacket.
She smushed
I
it.
smashed it, and I couldn't do that here because I would have broke the window, and then I would
Oh my god, we would have gotten kicked out
would've
of
gone to
the
jail.
whole state of Alabama.
Okay, I'm recording this because there's a wasp in here and I'm going to walk in. May the force be...
Don't hit at it like we did at
I'm not gonna hit at anything.
There's a bathroom in there.
Son of a biscuit. Alright, hello. Okay, hello.
You're in charge.
Maybe he'll just stay over there and be a happy little thing. In case you're wondering, the wasp is right there. We're gonna try to ignore it. I'm going back now. I know.
I'm gonna say something funny that's made me look really stupid. I had no idea who Frank Lloyd Wright was. And so when I first heard it, my brain thought of Andrew Lloyd Webber, who's the playwright who wrote Cats.
Oh!
And I was like, he designed a house? I thought he wrote musicals.
What did they say? 1940, Rosenbaum's parents gave them $7,500, and they bought the piece of property and had the house built.
Now I think we're gonna make our way toward our new accommodations for the evening.
Next stop, the Gunrunner, aka the coolest hotel we have ever stayed in. We're posting an entire video about the Gunrunner next week, so this is all you get to see right now. After dinner, we took some time to walk around the downtown area, taking in the beautiful small town atmosphere, still reeling from the fact that we had no idea this gem of a town existed. We spent the night watching the sunset from our Gunrunner balcony and getting so excited for what the coming days had to offer. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the rest of our Florence adventure. Here's what's coming up next week.
Oh, look, they have a telescope.
But that's cool.
Can you see? You're right here.
Oh, where's the land? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
We thought this spot was so beautiful we had to share it with you. Watch out for that bone footage. That.
My wife and little boy and I.
Oh, awesome. Okay, thanks
to meet you.
Bye-bye.
The people you meet on the road, man. We're going to Kentucky in April, and we're here.
He's from Kentucky.
Around the area we're going, so sweet little Earl just gave us his phone number to ring him when we're in the area.
And so him and his wife and 9-year-old son.
You just meet the best people on the road.
Yeah.